So I have been to Cabo and surrounding area a couple times now.
Yeah.
The most recent time, just a little over a month ago. And I came back and said to people that the weather was perfect. Yeah. So
Yeah.
to your original point, the heat without the humidity, absolutely amazing. So even on a day that hit 30, when I was in the shade, I wasn't even sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. So I would agree. The weather is
And I will tell
amazing.
you, it is like that from end of October right through until the end of May.
Wow. Let's just stop right now and let's just savor. Welcome to the Timbits and Tacos Real Estate Podcast with me, Wendy Pauls, and my good friend and fellow agent, Rick Parks. So I have noticed something, and it happened by accident again.
Yes.
Look at what color we're both wearing.
Oh, come on.
It's going to be a thing. Look we didn't even talk about it. We're in sync.
I don't know.
I
I like this
know
shirt.
you.
It's got this great little orange line in here, and I don't, otherwise it's just a plain old blue shirt. It's got that. I'm like, I like this. So it's one of those
Yes.
hidden little
Hey,
things that I like.
I love it. Blue is my favorite color. So, and remember, it doesn't bother me if we're matchy. It bothers you.
Fine, be that way. Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, one of the things I mentioned on a previous show was I really wanted to give you the opportunity to do a Cabo versus Florida. So
Okay.
where I am is in Ontario, and obviously a lot of people from here either vacation in Florida or snowbird, like go down for 2 or 3 months
I
in the
remember as a
winter.
kid the 2-day drive down to Florida that you'd make yearly. It was like this yearly trip to Mecca. It was
Yes.
we're going to Disneyland or Disney World, and every
Yes.
year we do it again and again and again. Yeah,
So this is your chance. This is your chance. Let's see if you can convince me that vacationing in Cabo or snowbirding in Cabo is something I should consider instead of just doing the
okay. Well, then let's
autopilot
do
Florida.
this. Then let's do this from me solving your problems
Okay.
perspective. All right. So
Which problems are you going to solve?
First problem. Here it is. First problem. Frizzy hair.
Okay.
All right. Humidity.
Mm-hmm.
The heat and the humidity of Florida. And when you arrive there, I'll give you an example. I was just on the east coast of Mexico over the weekend. I was in a little
Okay.
beach town called Tampico, which, excuse me, is right on the Gulf of Mexico. It was horrible. I don't know how you do it with the 100% humidity, and it was hot, and I was just, you step outside and your shirt's wet, and I just can't do humidity anymore. So now I come to Cabo, and I literally step off the plane in Cabo. It is 29 degrees, and it's fresh. And I'm like, no humidity, none whatsoever. And my hair wasn't frizzy.
Yeah.
None of those things. So that's number one to me is the weather here, and it's just not the amount of sunshine we get. It's this dryness. It's the freshness. I mean, I'm sitting here right now. It's probably 25 degrees out. My windows are open. I got a fan above me. It's refreshing. It's cool. It's wonderful. If I was in Florida right now, I'd be sitting here with sweat pouring down my face, and I'd have the air conditioner just going. That's probably number one more than anything. And I think anyone who, even anywhere, you're going to be care. It's a very great comparison is Phoenix to Florida as far as weather goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So In your forecasts, let me just ask, is it typically like the temperature is 29, feels like 29,
Yes.
versus the temperature's 29, feels like 35?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of a
And
humidex is not
and,
really a
and
thing.
you're assuming that we ever look at the forecast.
Okay, you're rubbing it in now. Like I'm giving you a chance to promote, but not rub it in, okay?
Sorry. No, no, no. You open this door up. You're going through it. And I don't care.
Okay. Mhm.
Number two, we are a once in a generational hurricane zone, which means that we see a major hurricane every 40, 50 years. Our last
Okay.
one was in 2014.
So
Okay.
how is this an advantage?
Because you get hit by a major hurricane in Florida every single summer, at least one.
Hmm.
I mean, we all watch the news and we've all seen Trump put the arrow over to the wrong spot. But that happens every year in Florida. It's like this ongoing disaster zone.
Hmm.
Where here, we will have a cat 1 or a cat 2 come rolling through. It's messy, it's windy, it's wet. Um, it might shut us down for a few days. Some people are without electricity for maybe a maximum of a week, but um, we're really quite able to keep moving very quickly.
But at this point, I want to play devil's advocate and I want to
Okay.
ask some difficult questions that I think are often on people's minds.
Okay.
So, a big one, because even when I come back and tell people that I was there,
Yeah.
people have this idea that Mexico is dangerous.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, on a whole, Mexico has an extremely high um, rate of murder to 100,000, whatever the ratio is.
Okay.
What you need to understand is 95% of that is bad guys killing bad guys.
Hmm.
Okay. And every time something pops up in the news, well, this person was killed in Cancun or
Mm-hmm.
whatever might happen. Um,
Yep.
those are rare and extreme situations that don't happen at all here. And it's very interesting. I was talking, I had a client here a couple of days ago, yesterday, and we went for a drive and we were talking. And I said, I feel more safe here in Cabo than I would in any major city in North America, including
Hmm.
walking around the backside of Orlando or Miami or Fort Lauderdale or Tampa. Okay.
Yeah. And why is that?
It, it, there is no sense of danger here. There's no sense that somebody's going to come up and try and knife me or kill me or anything like
Mhm.
that. It just doesn't happen here. I mean, our murder rate in this city, in this whole area, is very, very minuscule, especially in the tourist areas.
Right.
We're extremely well protected. We have all four forms of policing available to us. We have the federales, the state, the city, and we have the Marines. There was a cartel hit in
Mhm.
Cabo in 2016. It was the only one that we've experienced. And the government's response was they dropped $50 million worth of policing into this city immediately.
Wow.
Boom. Okay.
Mm.
So that
Hmm.
is, as far as feeling safe, if you said to me, Rick, let's go out of our hotel and let's walk down to the restaurant 5 blocks down the street.
Yeah.
And you said,
Yeah.
let's do this in Miami or let's do this in Cabo San Lucas. I would feel 10 times safer walking down the street in Cabo San Lucas than I would doing that in Miami.
I remember reading years ago, maybe when we vacationed there, that because of it being on the peninsula
Yep.
and sort of separate, like if people look on a map to see where you are, I don't know that a lot of people realize that there's this totally separate section of
Yes.
Mexico. And I do remember reading that the crime rate being significantly lower on the peninsula than the mainland, so to speak.
Yeah. By statistics, the two safest cities in Mexico are La
Mhm.
Paz, which is 2 hours north of us, and Cabo San Lucas.
Oh,
So, from
great,
a statistic point of view, it's an extremely safe scenario.
great. Now, I was talking to somebody recently. What was another question or objection that they had? Oh my gosh, my mind is blanking out. oh, they heard that most of the beaches in the area are unswimmable. Would you say
Somewhat
that?
right. Somewhat right. We
Okay.
we remember we are right on the very we're the most exposed land to the Pacific Ocean in all
Hmm.
of Mexico. So that strip that runs up that side of the peninsula, the Pacific
Hmm.
side,
Yep.
very few swimmable opportunities there. Okay.
Hmm.
As you come around the point and you begin to get into the Sea of Cortez, which is now to the east, so that extending from Cabo San Lucas to San Jose, we have 5 or 6 swimmable beaches, which are blue flag, very safe. They got bathrooms and parking and all those other things that make it very quite
Hmm.
nice. As you swing around and begin to come up into the Sea of Cortez, up towards La Paz, you get into all the beaches up there are beautiful and big extended, ways that you can walk all the way out. And your biggest concern is a jellyfish, you know,
Okay.
those type of things. Um,
Hmm.
so at the very point of Cabo San Lucas, yes, you really can't swim there now. But if there's a big beach right in Cabo San Lucas, and then between Cabo San Lucas and San Jose, you've got another 5 swimmable beaches that are lovely. Last night I was on the beach with my dog. The waves were crashing. It's absolutely wonderful. And honestly, I prefer that. I'm not a guy to go jump in the water and go frolic through the waves. I'm more of a guy that likes to sit there and listen to the waves crash and the big sounds. And I just sat there for an hour and enjoyed the sunset over my shoulder and the big waves crashing. It was beautiful.
So is it fair to say you're never far from a swimmable beach?
No, you're never more than 5 minutes away.
Okay. Yeah. So I will just, unless there's something else you have to point out, I was going to chime in with my opinions to
Please,
finish
I'd
things
love to
off.
hear your opinions.
Okay. So I have been to Cabo and surrounding area a couple times now.
Yeah.
The most recent time, just a little over a month ago. And I came back and said to people that the weather was perfect. Yeah. So
Yeah.
to your original point, the heat without the humidity, absolutely amazing. So even on a day that hit 30, when I was in the shade, I wasn't even sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. So I would agree. The weather is
And I will tell
amazing.
you, it is like that from end of October right through until the end of May.
Wow. Let's just stop right now and let's just
I
savor.
know. I won't
I
rub it
came
in.
home and people would say, "How was your trip?" And I'd go,
Yes. Yeah,
"That's
totally.
my
I get
answer."
it.
Um, the beaches were amazing. We went to a couple of beaches, swimmable
Yeah.
beaches, while we were there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Food, fantastic.
Oh, and
Uh,
don't
Tourist
forget the
areas,
night trip to the beach.
yes.
Now, see, that wasn't a swimmable beach, but
Okay.
we freaked
Yeah.
out your friend a little bit, but we went to the
Yes.
beach at
No,
night,
that
but
one
that was
wasn't,
not
but
a swimmable beach.
I wasn't counting that one because we did go when we went to the little touristy area. We stopped at a beach then, and then we
Yes.
went to the one close to you. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, amazing. So I would say that people should consider Cabo. They could test it out on vacation. Okay, so you've just started with your brokerage. You've started an add-on service,
Yeah,
a
we're doing
vacation.
vacation rentals as of 2 days ago. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so if people are watching this and they have any interest, they can contact you using the link in the
Yeah.
description.
So if they go through costero.com,
Hmm.
there's a link right at the top now that says vacation rentals. We've got
Amazing.
2 on board right now. We've got a third one coming in 2 weeks. We'll probably have 5 or 6 by the end of, or as we get into the summer. So we're getting a lot of interest, a lot of people contacting us. Yeah, sign up. We love to host you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, as always, if people enjoyed this video, we want them to like and subscribe. And we both have our appointment links in the description.
Mhm.
I think that's all for now. So, adios and
And
goodbye.
goodbye. See you.